About 30 years ago, Daniel Ellsberg came to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln to deliver a speech, and he had just finished doing his civil disobedience out at Rocky Flats. And he delivered this magnificent talk, and I was just starting my political trajectory as a left-wing organizer in Nebraska, which is, I think, an oxymoron.
Yeah.
This is essentially what I've done with my life for the past 30 years. But Ellsberg delivered this really charismatic talk because he's a phenomenal person to listen to. And at the end of his speech, when they were doing the question and answer period, there was this guy in the back that was waving his hand, you know, and he said, Mr. Ellsberg, Mr. Ellsberg. All right, he said, given what you said, what is the absolute most important thing that we can be doing right now? And Ellsberg stopped and he looked at him and he said, it takes everybody and it takes everything. And I've never forgotten. Now, one of the things, I'm a big banner person. I mean, you know, I had a great time yesterday out in the cold out at StratCom. I like that stuff, okay? But what I want to talk about is that there's another dimension to this organizing that I don't think that we have been devoting enough attention to. I don't want to take away a single thing of what we're doing right now. What we're doing right now is critical. We got to keep doing it. It takes everybody and it takes everything. But what I'm going to focus on in my talk this morning is the stuff that I think we have to be doing in addition to this to make this all work out. So, here we go. And let me also say that I've been talking about StratCom so long in Nebraska that, you know, my brain hurts. But I have never seen a collection of people like this who apparently want to be here. Some of whom may even agree with me, all right? And the flip side, and I have to know this just for my own satisfaction, how many of you are not Nebraskans? Would you raise your hand? I would cordially invite each and every one of you to relocate to Nebraska. Okay?
Got a job.
Please. All right, and short of doing that, then I want you to maybe process the advice I give at the end. I guarantee that by the end of this conference, you actually probably already do with the time you've already spent here, you probably know more about StratCom and what it is doing now, the missions it has, the role it is playing, than almost anybody else on the face of the earth. Okay? Things have, it is the most dangerous place on the face of the earth, but nobody understands that right now. They still think that we're back being this nuclear arsenal. Okay? They still think that we're the doomsday machine. That, you know, this is the unthinkable. This is the bad thing that is never supposed to happen. But what has happened since George Bush landed here on 9/11, and they took him down into the StratCom bunker? What has happened since then is that StratCom has been completely retooled, and it has gone from being an institution that was technically, in the popular imagination, never supposed to be used, to something that is now used for everything. It went from being defensive and technically, in the popular imagination, defensive and inactive, to offensive and proactive. And I guarantee you, almost nobody in the world knows that. They don't understand the transformation that has occurred. That's part of the reason that we here at Nebraskans for Peace, we're so desperate to get those of you who don't live here, who live in other states, but actually, from my vantage point, who live outside of the country. We need you to be understanding what StratCom is up to and sharing it with your friends in your countries, sharing it with your politicians, and balancing the national interest of all of the other member states of the United Nations against the national interest of the United States, which at this point is roguish and preeminent. This is where we start. All right. I understand that this is new information, and I lived here. I've lived my entire life in the shadow of StratCom, and it took me until about 3 years ago to put this all together in my head. Like it was yesterday, I remember opening the Omaha World Herald October 2nd, 2002, and reading that StratCom had just assumed command of the U.S. Space Command. And I remember going, what? What's all this about? I don't get this. Doesn't make any sense. What does this have to do with nuclear deterrence? And then it seemed, right after another, over the course of the next 3 years, six more missions got dumped on StratCom's desk. And every time that happened, we were like, huh, what's this all about? I don't get this. I don't get this. I couldn't have explained what was going on. And I was reading the newspaper. I was the one catching, some of the earliest copy about this. It wasn't making any sense. Well, thanks to people like Greg Mello of the Los Alamos Study Group, who was supposed to be here today and because of a family crisis was not able to attend. And because of Bill Solzman, he's out here somewhere, I saw him. Yes, Bill Solzman, where's he at? All right, Bill Solzman and Loring Werble, and Bruce, where's Bruce at? Bruce, right there, okay? Because of these people, all outsiders, I might add, okay, all right? I've kind of been able to piece things together so that I'm now almost smart enough to be up here on this plenary this morning to be explaining this stuff to you, all right? But I couldn't have done it without them. It took somebody from the outside to be able to say, Tim, here's how the dots connect. Tim, here's how the pieces fit together. Because I couldn't do it. It didn't make any sense. What are these folks up to? What's this all about? Made no sense. All right. But I will tell you that once you begin to put the pieces together, once you see what's going on, you feel a little bit like Austin Powers talking about Dr. Evil. And when you go out and talk to people about this, it's like their initial reactions are, Tim, I think you're going over the top. Okay? No, you're overstating the case. You're exaggerating. It's not really like that. But as you got a glimpse from Dave's video show here and so forth, we're not making this stuff up. Most of the information I'm going to share with you this morning, you can find on stratcom.mil. www.stratcom.mil, the official StratCom website. These people are giddy about what it is they're doing nowadays. They brag about it.